everyone, and welcome back to Flipping Clean Mama. If you haven't joined me before, my name's Larissa, and I am a stay-at-home homeschooling mom who loves to flip furniture on the side to provide a little extra income for my family. Today, we are going to be transforming a mid-century modern style cedar wood dresser. I hope you tune in to the whole video to see how I originally started to do this dresser and how it ended up, and also to catch my big oops that I had while I was doing it. Alright, without further ado, let's get flipping. Alright, here's the before. It's a cedar wood dresser, and I have sanded it all down here. I did not record me cleaning it or sanding it, but I did sand it all the way down. Originally, I was going to do something totally different with it, and then I decided to make it over into a dresser for one of my friends. But I didn't like how it turned out and wasn't sold on the whole shape of it. So I decided later in the video to transform it into what it is now. So stay tuned to see that. So I'm just gluing some cracked wood that was on the side here and clamping it. And I had filled the holes originally on the front because I was going to put hardware in different places for the style that I was originally going to do. But I did end up opening those holes back up again. So here I am just putting in a little wood epoxy on some of the drawers. There are a few little nicks here and there, and I just wanted to fill those up so I could sand them smooth. I may still do my original plan in the future. I was trying to make a Volkswagen van for my friend. I'm just not real good at like artistic details by freehand. So I wasn't satisfied with the way it turned out. So I just decided too that it probably should be on a more of a rounded or shaped dresser, and this was a little too square. I just think it would look better on a rounded dresser. So if I can find one of those like waterfall dressers, I'll hopefully do that Volkswagen van again in the future. But instead of it just letting it sit in my garage, I decided I would transform it. So here it is, all sanded and puttied. It really was a beautiful wood. And here I am just taping around the drawers because originally I painted them, primed and painted them. And then when I changed my mind, I ended up sanding them back down to the bare wood. So yes, all in all, this dresser took me a little more time than most because I changed my plan. But when I did prime the dresser, I used the Zinsser primer. It is my preferred primer of choice. And used a roller to roll it on the drawers and the body. It's always important to prime. If you have any clue that it may bleed through, always prime. Some things you don't have to prime on, but a lot of things you do. And I knew since I sanded down the cedar that I'd probably best prime it. Some of the veneer was coming up on the bottom, so I glued it with some wood glue and clamped it down. And then I noticed too when I was painting where I had some stripes on the side of the dresser, they were rigid. So I went ahead and sanded that down again too and repainted over it. And I had to fill after I glued the veneer down, I filled it with wood filler. Actually, about, I believe, 3 times before it actually got completely smooth as I wanted it. And then, like I said, I had to sand the sides down, so I repainted those quick. And then I let the wood filler dry, came back, sanded it, put some more in, and repeat. So here I am removing the original paint idea that I had from the drawers and bringing them back down to their cedar. And then after I got all the drawers sanded back down, I top coated all the wood ones and then I painted the top one. So I'll let you watch that for a little bit. I'm just using my DeWalt orbital sander again, and I'm using an 80 grit sandpaper here. And once again, if you're sanding, always wear a mask. Protect those lungs. Alright, here I'm just spray painting the hardware. I've already cleaned it and scuffed it up with sandpaper and am spray painting it with Rust-Oleum's gold spray paint. Just thought that would match a little better with the natural cedar. Then I let it dry. And doing the second coat there on the drawers. I'm using the zebra brushes again. I believe this one's a 2-inch zebra brush, and then also the round brush. I decided to paint the top drawer A because when I top coated it, it has those ridges in it, and you could really see the top coat plus some of the paint that was on there previously, no matter how much I sanded. And I ended up liking it. I really like the top drawer painted. I think it makes it go together really well. And as you can see there, I'm missing the bottom wood track from the dresser, so I have that on order from Amazon. I did 3 coats of paint on this dresser, give or take. I could have got away with just 2 coats, but just since I had some things to cover up, like the previous design, I just went over them a little more. And here comes the uh-oh. I went to move my drawer off the table and accidentally knocked off my jar of Melange paint that was 3/4 full all over to the floor. So I got out one of my strainers and strained as much as I could back into a paper cup. And here I am just clear coating the hardware. I sprayed them 3 times and then I clear coated it twice just to protect it. You always want to clear coat your hardware. Here I am sanding down some more wood filler again. That was a process, but I finally got it so where it's smooth and hopefully undetectable that there was ever a problem. I just had a few rough spots there on the top, so I just took a really fine grit sandpaper and hit them with my electric sander real quick. And excuse my pajama pants. I work out in the garage whenever I can sneak out. Then I'm just lightly sanding the top and the whole dresser. Just trying to give it a buttery smooth finish on the top. Just using a 600 grit sandpaper here. Ultra smooth. Here I'm just using my applicator sponge to top coat it, and I'm using again Dixie Belle's clear coat and satin to top coat it. I top coated the dresser twice on both the base and the drawers.
and how did you like that flip? Now let's get to the numbers. So I bought this dresser off of Facebook Marketplace for $25 in a neighboring town. And then I put about $15 of paint into it. And that doesn't include at the least 10 ounces of paint that I spilled all over the floor. I could have cried. It was so heartbreaking. But thank you for Melange for giving me a percentage off code to help me recoup some of that expense. And then about $5 in top coat and $5 in spray paint and sandpaper. So it will give me an all-in price of $50. And once I get my drawer slide replaced on the bottom drawer, I plan to list this piece on Facebook Marketplace for $250, which should give me a profit of $200, which isn't too bad. Well, thank you again for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to be here. I hope you'll like, subscribe, and comment. It goes a long, long way at helping my very small channel grow. And if you want to support me in another way, I do have a link below in the description where you can sign up to buy me a coffee. It basically just gives me enough money to buy a coffee and help support my channel. All right, I hope you all have a very blessed week and keep on flipping.